Hello everyone, welcome to the class. Let me check if I'm live. Okay, just give me 2 minutes guys. I'll just check if I'm live, and also I'll check if the audio is clear. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to the class. I am very much live and I think the audio is also absolutely clear. Alright, so a very warm welcome everyone to the class. So as I had promised that today's class will be in the morning, here I am with another part on the Chola Empire, and that's what we will continue with today. Okay, let me just check everything. Okay, everything seems to be fine. So a very warm welcome to the class guys, and without further ado, let's start with our chapter today. So if you all remember, yesterday I had taught you all about the Chola kings. We discussed some of the important Chola kings like Raja 1. We discussed about Rajendra Chola. We discussed about different Chola kings and their contribution. And we got to know that yes, they had a huge contribution to the Indian subcontinent. Alright. So before I begin, I would request all of you to please join the Telegram channel. The link and the scan code both have been given. You can choose whichever way you want to join the Telegram channel. Now, why is it important for you to join the Telegram channel? Because this is where you will get updates regarding the classes. Okay. This is where you will get updates regarding the classes, and this is where most importantly you will get your notes. So it's very important that you join the Telegram group, because this is really going to be helpful for your preparations further. Alright, and before we start, I would request all of you to like the session, to share it with your friends, and also subscribe to the channel guys. Okay, chaliye, let's start with the chapter. Let's start with the lecture. So in yesterday's lecture, I had told you all about the different kings of Chola dynasty. We spoke about Vijayalaya Chola, Aditya, Parantaka 1, we spoke about Raja 1, we spoke about Rajendra 1, then we spoke about Raja Dhiraj. You know, all of these great kings we have talked about, okay? And I also told you that I will be telling you about the extent of the empire. I wanted to show you the extent of the empire. So can you see this pink area guys? Okay. I'm sure this pink area is visible. Let me change the pen color. So I'm sure this pink area is visible to all of you. Okay. You can see Sri Lanka also has been part of the Chola dynasty, right? So that was the pink area, was basically the part of the Chola dynasty, right? I know you might think it's really small, but guys, they're almost covering almost all of South India. Plus they had the empire beyond South India as well, beyond the Indian subcontinent as well, and that's something we should be really looking out for. That's something we should really be proud of. And they had the empire even beyond the South Indian, the Indian subcontinent, right? And this is just the basic extent of the empire. If you remember, I had told you that how one of the Chola kings had also defeated the Pal kingdom, or the Pal kings in Bengal, and they have literally extended their empire to there also. Fine. So I told you about the extent of the empire. Now we will be starting with something very interesting, and that is the Chola administration. Now this might be a little difficult to understand, but don't worry, side by side I'll be making flowcharts for you so that you don't have any difficulty understanding this. Now, the king was on the top of administration, and the Chola inscriptions refer to him as Ko, Perumul Adigal, the Great One, the Ko Konmai Kondan, the king of kings. Fine. Remember these lines, what are they being called as? Okay. So he's referred to as Ko. This was one word. Alright. They refer to as Perumul Adigal also. Fine. Ko Konmai. Okay. So these are the various names through which the kings have been referred to. The Chola inscriptions describe the king as a great warrior, a great conqueror, a great patron of art and literature, destroyer of evils, generous, protector, pleasing personality. So all of these things are just general adjectives which are being used with the kings. And this kind of adjectives you will find with almost any king in the Indian subcontinent. I'm sure you remember Samudragupta's Prayag Pila Prashasti by now. So you would see how similar kind of adjectives have been used with him as well. Right? Now, the king undertook royal tours to increase the efficiency of the administration. Okay, what is the king doing? The king is undertaking royal tours so that the efficiency of his administration can be increased. Okay, now the administration setup was larger as compared to that of the Cheras and the Pandyas. Obviously, it is going to be larger because the Cholas have literally captured or conquered everything of the Cheras and the Pandyas and the Pallavas, right? Now, however, it witnessed decline after the death of Kulutunga I, and thereafter the power of the local chieftains had increased. But the Chola Empire also did come to a decline, and it did decline after the ruler of Kulutunga I. Fine, and after them the power was mostly with the local chieftains. Now local chieftains again are the same thing, guys, the Saman, the feudatories. We've already gone over these concepts. But again, if you have doubts in these concepts, you can always let me know. Please आप मुझे ज़रूर बताइएगा if you have doubt in these concepts. You can always drop in a comment to let me know if there's anything you don't understand and you would like me to explain. Okay, let me know if you have any doubts here. The live chat is open, guys. अगर आपको कुछ नहीं समझ में आया है तो प्लीज़ बताइएगा. Any doubts here? Anything you might not have understood? Chaliye, let's move ahead. Now, the empire, the whole empire was known as Rashtriyam or Rajyam. So I'm going to write it down for you. Empire, Rajyam. Consisted of 8 mandalams, provinces. Okay? I'm sorry. Consisted of 8 mandalams, provinces, and each mandalam had a governor or a viceroy. Fine. So the empire was divided into 8 provinces, mandalams. Okay? And they were under whom? They were under the governor. Sorry. Okay. Now, the provinces were further divided into Valanadus or Kottam. So, provinces further divided into Valanadus or Kottam, ठीक है? And each Valanadu was divided into Nadu. Fine, this was further divided into Nadu, and it was basically under the Nattar. Who's the official here? Alright, ठीक है? The Nadus consisted of a number of autonomous villages. Fine. So Nadu would basically contain villages. Now these villages were basically under the administration of the guilds in the Shrenis. You're already aware of the concept of the guilds in the Shrenis. Even explained here. I have already explained this, but if there is any doubt, you can always let me know. Alright. So the assembly of the mercantile groups were known as the Nagaram and was specific to different trades and specialized group. So these guilds, alright, these guilds are known as what, guys? These guilds are known as your Nagaram. I know it's quite confusing with very similar names, but you have to remember. So Nagaram was the name of these guilds, okay, and they were basically related to specific trade and specialized group. For example, they could be cotton merchants, silk merchants, ivory, like that. Fine. For example, the Shankarapaddi Nagaram was ghee oil and suppliers. The Salia Nagaram and the Sastuma Parishata Nagaram were associated with textile trade. Alright, so remember these examples. Fine. So this is a flowchart that I have drawn for you. Now I'm going to simplify it more, alright, by making a visual representation of this. Okay, let me draw again for you. Let me erase this. And I will again draw for you. I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, let's just draw a huge box. Fine. Okay, consider this huge box is what? This huge box is your Rajyam or your Rashtriyam. Fine. Now I'm going to divide it into 8 mandalams. Fine. Okay, so the entire country, the entire Rajyam was divided into how many mandalams? 8 mandalams. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now these provinces were further divided into Valanadus or Kottam. Okay. Now each province, each mandalam was divided into what? Valanadus and Kottam. Okay. Valanadus or Kottam. Where was I? Okay, so suppose it is divided into now 4 Valanadus in Kottam, like this. Okay, the Nadus consisted of a number of autonomous villages. Okay, Valanadus under Nattar. Fine. The guilds and Shrenis were also a part of this. Was a part of this administration. Okay, so basically, what have we seen? This huge box that I drew was the Rajyam. The 8 squares that I have divided, these squares are basically your mandalams. Okay. The mandalams are further divided into what? Valanadus or Kottam. Fine. And each Valanadu is further divided into Nadu. Okay. तो ये क्या है? ये हमारा Valanadu है. अब इसको मैं further divide कर सकती हूँ किसमें? I can further divide this into Nadus. Okay. And each Nadu would contain a number of autonomous villages like this, and the administration of the villages were in the hands of the guilds, or you can say it was in the hands of the Shrenis. Okay, they've given you a lot of examples here. Okay, they've given you a few examples to show how each guild or Shreni was responsible for a specific task or for a specific kind of trading activity. Like for example, we have the Shankrapaddi Nagaram, they were ghee and oil suppliers. We have the Salya Nagaram and the Sastuma Parishata Nagaram, they were associated with textile trade. Okay, alright guys. Please take a look and let me know if there's any doubt here. It would have been a little difficult for you to understand, but मुझे बताइए अगर आपको इसमें कुछ नहीं समझ आया हो तो. Take your time, आराम से पढ़िए, देखिए, take a look at the drawing here and then let me know if you don't understand. The big box is the Rajyam, ठीक है? The 4 small boxes, these 4 small boxes, this is your Mandalam. ठीक है? Each mandalam is further divided into what? Each mandalam is further divided into kottams or valanadus. ठीक है? This is your kottam. Fine. Each kottam is further divided into nadus. Okay, and each nadu will have a village that is under the administration of the guilds or the shrenis. Just take a look at this very comfortably and let me know if there's any doubt. टेक योर टाइम गाइज, सी आराम से देखिए और फिर मुझे बताइए अगर आपको कुछ नहीं समझ में आया हो तो. Alright, let's move on to village administration. Now, this was the state level of administration, guys. Now we will see in each village what kind of administration was there. Okay. The Chola village administration had 2 types of assemblies. First of all, we have Or, the general assembly of the local residents of non-Brahmadeya villages. It is believed that members of the assembly were less than 10. Now, what do you mean by non-Brahmadeya villages? Brahmadeya villages are basically those villages which have been donated to the Brahmins, okay? They are basically land grants or agrahar. They are given to Brahmins or to religious institution. Fine. So they are talking about this administration that they are talking about. The administration is about the non-Brahmadeya villages, okay, or the villages which have not been granted to anyone. Okay. So what are they saying? That Ur is the general assembly of the local residents. Fine. And it is believed that the members of this assembly were less than 10. So at the village level, just like we have the Sabha and the Samiti in the early Vedic age, similarly, the Chola Empire had what is known as Ur, which was the General Assembly of the people, and it was less than 10. The members were less than 10. Okay? Then we have Sabha or the Mahasabha. Two inscriptions that belong to the rule of Parantaka I, found in Uttara Merur, provide us detail about the formation and functioning of the Sabha. The Sabha was an assembly of Brahmins or adult males in the Agraharas, rent-free Brahmadaya villages. Okay. So, Sabha was an assembly which was mostly found where, guys? Sabha was an assembly which was mostly found in, in Brahmadaya villages. Villages which have been granted, villages which have been already been given as land grants or as agrahar to religious institution or to Brahmins. Okay. And the assembly basically comprised of Brahman adult male members. Alright. And these people enjoyed a great measure of autonomy, because I'm sure you know by now that whenever you give someone a land grant, you are basically, as a king, you are forsaking all the rights from that grant. You can't collect taxes from there, you can't control that land, nothing is then in your control, it is completely being given away. So the Sabha or the Mahasabha, which was the assembly of the Brahmadaya villages, they had a good level of autonomy over these lands. Okay? Alright, chaliye, let's move ahead. Let's talk about, let's finish at least one more slide, and then maybe we can clear some doubts together. So the Brahman Sabha and the Chola court were closely associated, means they were working together. The resolution of the Sabha was made in the presence of an official deputed by the king. Resolution of the Sabha, if there's any problem in the Sabha or whoever will be the part of the Sabha, that was completely, all these decisions were made in the presence of the king. Alright. The members of the committee were elected by drawing lots or by rotation. How were the members elected? So the members were elected on the basis of lot, so you can say lucky draw. So for example, we have 12 members who want to be part of the Mahasabha. So what we will do, we will put chits in a bowl, maybe, fine, and then take out 10 names from there, and whatever 10 names come in, these people will become members of the Sabha. Okay? The membership was governed by a certain criteria, such as ownership of land, knowledge of Vedas, good conduct, etc. So you can't just become a member like that. There are certain criteria that you have to fulfill. First criteria is ownership of land. Second is knowledge of the Vedas. Third is good conduct. Okay. The committee members were called as Variya Perumakkal and usually met in a temple or under the tree. The members of the Mahasabha, they were known as what? They were known as your Variya Perumakkal, and they were usually meeting in a temple or they would meet under a tree to discuss the matters and to basically, carry out all the administrative tasks. Alright? Okay. This is all about the Mahasabha. चलिए अब हम थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ते हैं and let's talk about the land revenue. Now if you all remember, yesterday I did tell you about a king who was basically interested in measuring the land and the productivity of the land before he set out the land revenue. Okay, that was something which the Chola rulers were doing differently from the North Indian kingdoms. So land revenue was the main source, obviously, and it was usually 1/6 of the produce. Fine. The revenue was collected by the village assembly and was paid in cash and kind or both. Okay. So the revenue was collected in what? The revenue was collected by the village assembly. So either it would be collected by the Ur or the Mahasabha, and it was paid in both cash and kind. The land survey would be conducted by the Chola government, and then on the basis of the survey they would decide what kind of revenue should they be collecting. Okay? The inscription often refer to land transfer via sale or gift. I've already explained this concept to you. This is known as Brahmadaya or Agrahar, which is gifting of land to religious institutions or to Brahmins. Okay. Now, there are certain references of villages that were headed by women also. So in the 902C inscription, there's a mention of a woman called Bitiya, who was the head of the village of Bharangiyur. All right. So yes, but I would not say that this means that there was a lot of women representation in the Chola Empire. Not really. But yes, there were instances where women were represented. All right. So that being said, this is one example. Like we have example of Prabhavati Gupta as an exception. So maybe we have example of Bitiya who was the head of the village of Bharangiyur. But this is just an exception, guys, I think, because this was not the norm. This was not something which was being done on a daily basis. This was not something which was common. Alright, now let me know if you have doubts here in these two parts. The live chat is open, guys. I'm also taking a look at it. Please let me know. Let me know if you have any doubts, anything that you have not understood. Please let me know. Okay, let's move ahead. Let's talk about the Chola society and the economy. The caste system was very much prevalent, guys, okay? And the condition of the Periyar or the untouchables was actually miserable. It was quite bad. The higher orders like the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, they obviously enjoyed special status. And the Chola inscription mentioned that there were major divisions. These were the major divisions in the caste. Okay. So according to the Chola inscriptions, we have, first of all, we have the Valangai. They are mostly what? They mostly from the agricultural group. Okay. Idangai, they are basically artisans of the trading class. Brahmanism, Shaivism and Vaishnavism, both are included. They obviously continue to reign and they obviously continue to flourish and hold a lot of importance in the Chola dynasty. Okay. Apart from granting gifts to Brahmins, gifts were generously given to temples by the royal families. I've already told you about this, that they would give land grants to the temples also. Fine, and they have been some of the great patrons of a lot of beautiful temples. Fine. Rich merchants also contributed to the temples. Under the patronage of the Chola kings and queens, a large number of temples have been constructed. So don't worry, guys, I will be having a session particularly about the Chola temples. We will be discussing about their art and architecture and everything. Now, this will be a separate session because there are a lot of temples that we will have to cover. So I'll be showing you the pictures, I'll be showing you the features of the temple, and everything would be discussed in a lot more detail. Okay. The Brahmin Sabha was involved in the management of the finances and the maintenance of the temple. The Brahmin Sabha, as in the Sabha, which was basically a Mahasabha, they were the ones who were responsible for managing the temple and for maintaining the temple and the finances of it. Okay. So what have we learned as far as the society and economy is concerned? the first three castes, or the first three one, which is Brahman, Vaishyas and Kshatriyas, they did enjoy a lot of special power and privilege, and the condition of the Periyar, or basically the untouchables, were really, really bad. And according to Chola inscription, these are some of the various divisions that we have. We have the Valangai, they're the agricultural groups. The Idangai, they're basically the artisans and the trading class. And then we have Brahmanism along with Vaishnavism and Shaivism. This continued for a long while. They continued to reign and they continued to be really important in the Chola dynasty. Okay? And a lot of gifts were given to temples, a lot of gifts were given to the religious institution and to Brahmins as well. And temples were being looked after by the Mahasabha. Okay. All right. Let's move ahead. Let's finish more and then we can clear the doubts together. Now, as far as economy is concerned, I've already told you that the mainstay of the economy was obviously revenue. And where is the revenue coming from? The revenue is coming from agricultural practices, or mainstay of the revenue was agriculture. Okay. So the economy was mainly agrarian and all steps were taken to bring more and more land under cultivation. So forest lands were cleared and brought under cultivation. There was construction of irrigation tanks, expansion of a variety of crops, maybe introduction of new crops as well. This would have led to a lot of agricultural prosperity. Now, the industrial sector also witnessed some kind of development during the Chola period. So Kanchipuram was basically emerged as an important weaving industry. I don't think I need to tell you about it because I'm sure by just listening to the name Kanchipuram you can make it out, because Kanchipuram saris are so famous, or Kanjivaram saris as we know them. They're really expensive as well and they're very famous also. So Kanchipuram became an important center of weaving. Okay? Kudamuku was an important center for betel nut and erica nut cultivation. Okay, and it was also known for metal works, textile and coin mining as well. Okay, the Chola kings also maintained close trading relations with Southeast Asia and China. I've already told you that how when they had captured the Sumatra, Java islands in the peninsula there, they had also captured or conquered, or basically they were controlling the trade route to China, isn't it? I hope you remember the previous lecture. So here also we can see that they had close relations or close commercial ties with China as well. They also had trade relations with Arabia because Arabic horses were basically playing a very important role in the Chola cavalry. Okay, the horses were coming from here itself. Okay, let me know if you have any doubts in these two slides, guys. The live chat is open. Let me know if there's anything you don't understand. Any doubts, any difficulty that you might have, you can always drop in. Let me know in the comment section, please. All right. Okay. Now let's talk about the Chola sculpture. An important piece of the Chola sculpture is the image of Nataraj, who is in a Tandav posture. So I am sure you are aware of this image of Nataraj, alright. You can see Shivji here, okay. He is in a dancing position and he is literally doing Tandav here. And this image or this particular position was constructed or was sculpted in a bronze statue-like figure. And that is one of the major contributions of the Chol sculpture art. Now, the earliest known Nataraj sculpture was excavated at Ravan Pahari cave at Aihole, which was made during the early Chalukya rule. The sculpture reached its peak during the Cholas. So this was first constructed during the Chalukya rule, guys. Okay? But it reached its peak, as in it reached its zenith. The productivity reached its zenith during the Chola dynasty. Now, the later phase of the Chola art, which is the 13th century, is illustrated by beautiful sculptures showing Bhudevi, or basically the goddess Earth, as a young consort of Vishnu. Okay, so Bhudevi or Mother Earth is being shown as a wife of Vishnu. She's standing very gracefully, flexed attitude on a lotus base, holding a lily in her right hand, and while the left arm hangs along her side. So what is she holding? She's literally standing on a lotus. She's holding a lotus. She's literally standing. Sorry, she is standing gracefully on a lotus. She is holding a lily in one hand. The left hand is left very free. Okay, on her side. Fine. So this was the later part of Chola sculpture. This is a very important sculpture that they had, gotten constructed, or they had gotten sculpted. Chola bronze images are considered as the finest amongst the world, and that is why I've shown you this picture, because as far as the sculptures are concerned, the bronze images that they had made was considered to be the finest among the world. Okay, so that's about the Chola sculpture. Fine. Let's do the literature and then we can clear both the doubts together. This is the last topic for the day, guys. But the chapter is not yet over, because there are a lot of things which I still need to do. I really need to talk to you. I really need a session on Chola architecture, particularly about the temples. So we will be talking about all the temples in a lot of details. Now, let's talk about the literature. Tamil and Sanskrit literature both have flourished in an equally balanced manner. Tamil literature witnessed a golden age here. So I'm sure you're familiar with the Sangam literature. It is a book of poems. So Sangam literature plays a first-hand source. It's like an information, first-hand information for us about the South Indian empires. It's not just about the Cholas. It is about the Chalukyas, the Cheras, the Pandyas. We get to know about all of these empires through the Sangam literature. Okay. Let's talk about some of the few Tamil literary work which were renowned. So we have Kamban Ramayan by Kamban. We have Periya Puranam or Tirudon Dar Puranam by Selikyar. Alright, I'm sorry if the pronunciation is really bad. Try to remember the easier ones, guys. So it's Periya Puranam. Fine. Then we have Koladam by Kolandar. We have Nala Vinba written by Pulagendi. Okay. We have Kesama Swami composed, it's a Sanskrit work, Sanskrit work by Samkeshavam. Alright. So these are some of the important literary works which have been composed. Please remember the names. These names are absolutely important. Okay. So we have Kamban Ramayan by Kamban. We have Periya Puranam. We have Periya Puranam, alright, by Sekiliyar. We have Kolandam. We have Koladam by Kolandar, alright. We have Nala Venba written by Pulagendi. Okay. And then we have Kesava Swami composed Sanskrit work. So this is the person's name. Kesava Swami is the name of the person, and he composed a Sanskrit word which was known as Nanna Ravana Samkeshvam. Okay, what was it known as? Nanna Ravana Samkeshvam. Fine. So these are some of the important literary works which have been composed during the Chola dynasty, during the Chola rule. Okay. So with this, we have come to the end of our lecture. So let me know, guys, if you have any doubts here. For those who are in the live chat, can always drop me a message in the live chat. And for those who will be watching the recordings, it's a request that if you don't understand something, you should always drop in a comment. I will be checking the comment and I'll be taking up those doubts in the next class. So what have we done today? We spoke about the Chola administration at the central level, all right, and then we did it in the village level. At the central level, how is it divided? Rajyam divided into mandalams, mandalams divided into kotams, kotams further divided into nadus, nadus further divided into villages. Villages were basically governed by the guilds or the shrenis. Okay? At the village level, we have two assemblies, which was the assembly of the non-Brahmadeya villages, and then we have the Sabha or the Mahasabha, which was the assembly of the Brahmadeya villages. Okay, we learned about the economy as well. So we learned that agriculture was the mainstay of the economy, but at the same time there were some industrial setups as well which happened. We have some areas which have become good administrative setup, which have become good industrial setup like Kanchipuram. Then we talked about the society and the economy, and we got to know about the division of the Chola Empire, the division of the Chola society. We have the Valangai, the Idangai, we have the Brahmins, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, all of these were there. Then we learned about their sculpture, and their bronze sculpture is the main attraction here. It is best known in the world, and it is considered among the finest in the world. And then we learned some of the great literary works which have been produced during the Chol dynasty, and we have learned the names, we have learned about the authors also. Alright, so that's it from me on today's lecture. Let me know if there's anything you don't understand, guys. Always remember that if you're attending your live class, you can always ask your doubts in the live chat. And if you're watching the recordings, you can always drop in a comment and let me know if there's anything you don't understand. So please do that. It would be a huge pleasure for me to be able to help you all. Okay. So before I end the session, I would request everyone to join the Telegram group. The link and the scan code both have been given. Why should you join the Telegram group? Because this is where you will get updates regarding the classes. Okay. This is where you will get your notes. This is where you will get your notes in the PDF format. Whatever files we upload, ये आपको यहाँ पे PDF format में आराम से मिल जाएंगे. Okay. And before you all leave, I would request everyone to like the video, share it with your friends. Also comment on the video. Let me know if there's anything you like, because we all love to be appreciated. If there's anything you don't like, you can tell us, because we would really love to work on it. And also please subscribe to the channel, guys, so that and also press the bell notification so that you get updated whenever we post a new video. And also we would love to reach 50 subscribers very soon. So please do subscribe to the channel so that we can reach our goal and we can celebrate and we can help and basically bring education, quality education to majority of the people there. Alright. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It was an absolute pleasure to have you all here. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.